we have 5 to the power of 2n times 15 to the power of n minus 1 times 3 to the power of n all over 125 to the power of n times 3 to the power of n minus 1. Okay, so we have got that question. So the first thing, as I told you yesterday, is to convert all bases to prime bases. That's the first thing. So I'm going to say this is equal to 5 to the power of 2n times. The 15 I can write as 3 times 5. Then I'll put that in bracket, raise to the power of n minus 1 times 3 to the power of n all over. The denominator, 125, can be written as 5 cubed. So that will be 5 cubed raised to the power of n times 3 to the power of n minus 1. So I've converted all bases that are not prime to prime bases. My next step is to remove the brackets before I use law 1 or law 2. So this becomes 5 to the power of 2n times 3 to the power of n minus 1 times 5 to the power of n minus 1 times 3 to the power of n. This is all over 5 to the power of 3n times 3 to the power of n minus 1. Right? Then, I'm going to carry on here. Once I've done this now, I've got two bases in the question. That is, a base of 5 and a base of 3. Right? I'm going to rearrange the numerator and start with the base of 3. Then I'm going to use law 1 and law 2, as I did yesterday. So that will become 3 to the power of n minus 1. Okay? And that 3 is 3 to the power of n minus 1 is this one. Right? Then times 3, sorry, I'm not going to say times, I'm going to use law 1 first because I've got another 3 to the power of n there. So I'm going to use law 1. So because we are multiplying bases in the numerator, we add the exponent, so that will be plus n. Then in the denominator, I also have a base of 3. So I'm going to subtract that exponent, so it will be minus open bracket n minus 1. Okay? So I've dealt with the base of 3. In actual fact, I could also, without wasting time, I could do it this way, right? This will be probably the easiest way. I'll just cancel out. Okay, you can also cancel out this 3 to the power of n minus 1 and that 3 to the power of n minus 1. That will be much better than to use law 1 and law 2 combined. If I cancel out like that, it means the whole question I'm going to be left with this 3 to the power of n. So I can write that as 3 to the power of n. Okay? I realize that I can just cancel out the 3 to the power of n minus 1. I can cancel them out so that it can be easier for me. Okay? So I'm now left with the base of 5. So that will be times. Now if you look at the base of 5, we have this 5 to the power of 2n. So I'm going to start with that. So that will be 5 to the power of 2n. Then I've got this 5 to the power of n minus 1. I'm going to use law 1 of exponents. Right? So I'm going to add the exponent, which is n minus 1. So that will be plus n minus 1. Then, in my denominator, I've got this exponent, or rather that base, which is part of the denominator. So I have to subtract exponents, so that will be minus 3n. then this will be equal to 3 to the power of n times. Now, if you look at it here, this 2n plus that n will give me 3n. So if I subtract this minus 3n, I'll get a 0. So I'll be left with 5 to the power of minus 1. Okay? But since I told you yesterday that generally when you are simplifying exponential expressions, you are supposed to leave your answers with positive exponents. So I'm going to use definition number 2 to simplify this. So this means I can say this is equal to 3 to the power of n times 1 over 5, and my final answer will be 3 to the power of n over 5. And then I'm done. Okay. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
So I hope that if you made a mistake somewhere, you will be able to correct yourself. Right, so can I move on to the next question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's move on to question number 30. So question number 30, we have got 18 to the power of y times 8 to the power of y minus 1 all over 9 to the power of y plus 1 times 4 to the power of 2y minus 1. Okay, so that's the question. So the first thing is always when you get an exponential expression, convert all bases to prime bases. So first step is to convert the 18 to a base which is prime or to a product of prime bases. So that will be 9 times 2, which will be 3 squared times 2. Right? Raised to the power of 1. Times 8 is the same as 2 cubed. All this is raised to the power of y minus 1. Right? All over. The 9 is the same as 3 squared. All raised to the power of y plus 1. Times the 4 is 2 squared. All raised to the power of 2y minus 1. So that's the first step. Usually this step of converting bases to prime, you will be allocated a mark. So you must know how to convert bases to prime bases. Then the next step now is to remove the brackets. So if I remove the brackets, the first bracket, I'll get 3 to the power of 2y times 2 to the power of y times. Now I'm in the second bracket. This 3 here, it multiplies both the y and the minus 1. So don't make a mistake of multiplying that 3 by y only. It is also supposed to be multiplied by the minus 1. Because our exponent here, it's y minus 1, is a binomial. So I'm going to write there as 2 to the power of 3y minus 3. Right? All over. My denominator, it will be 3 to the power of 2y plus 2 times 2 to the power of 4y minus 2. So I've removed the brackets. The next thing now is to use the first law of exponents and the second law of exponents. Now, for this question, I cannot easily cancel out terms. Okay? I cannot easily cancel out terms, so I'm going to use law 1 and law 2 combined. I'm going to start with the base of 2. So it will be 2, I've got this 2 to the power of y, so it will be 2 to the power of y. Alright? Then I also have this 2 to the power of 3y minus 3. Since I'm multiplying bases, I have to add the exponents, so that will be plus 3y minus 3. Okay? Then in the denominator, I've got 2 to the power of 4y minus 2. Since it's part of a denominator, I have to subtract it. So it will be minus 4y minus 2 inside the brackets. Okay? It's very important for you to put that binomial inside brackets. If you don't put it inside brackets, you get an incorrect answer. Okay? Then I'm now moving on to a base of 3. So my base of 3, I've got this 3 to the power of 2y, and I've got that 3 to the power of 2y plus 2. So I'm just going to use log 2 of exponent, so that will be times 3 to the power of 2y minus open bracket 2y plus 2. Then I'll close the bracket. The next step now is for me to simplify it. I can remove the brackets first and then simplify, which is what I'm going to do this time. So I'm going to write this as 2 to the power of y plus 3y will give me a 4y. Then I'm going to have minus 3 minus 4y plus 2 times 3 to the power of 2y minus 2y plus 2. Is there anyone who has got a question there before I write the final answer?
I'm slightly confused.
Sorry?
I'm a little bit confused, sir.
Okay, then you are free to ask which part are you confused with.
What you did now, like.
I talk about the last step I wrote there.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to repeat it again then. Right. If you look at the base of
Sir,
yes.
wouldn't the exponents for number 3
Minus 2.
2y minus 2y,
Minus 2.
then minus 2, because it was plus 2 to begin with, and then when you multiplied with the negative 1, it should be negative 2.
Okay. For which base? Oh, you're talking about for base of 3.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, that's right. For base of 3, that's correct. This is supposed to be minus. Thank you for that. So this is supposed to be the minus. Okay. All right. Supposed to be minus. Anyway, I'm going to start afresh how I got that last step. Now, if you look at the base of 2, y plus 3y gives me 4y. Okay? Then this minus 3, I put it here. Then inside here, we have got a binomial exponent, and there's a minus outside. So the minus times the 4y will give me minus 4y. The minus and the minus 2 will give me positive 2y. Okay? Do you understand that part? I think it was Keisha who was asking.
Oh, yeah, I get it now. I get it.
You are following there. Right. Then,
Yes, yes.
then for base of 3, I've got this 2y, but there's a minus outside the bracket, so that minus 1 multiplies the 2y, then you get the negative 2y. Then you have the minus outside and the positive 2, so you end up getting a minus 2. Alright? Now, when you are doing these questions, you have to be extremely careful. You saw the mistake, the silly mistake that I made. So when you are doing it, be very, very careful of your signs, because you are dealing with a complex expression. So be very careful. Now I'm going to cancel out some of the terms. So this 4y and that 4y will cancel. So I'll end up having minus 3 plus 2. That will give me negative 1. So I'll end up having 2 to the power of minus 1. Then here the 2y and the minus 2y will cancel out, and I'll be left with 3 to the power of negative 2. Now, that 2 to the power of minus 1 times 3 to the power of negative 2 is not the final answer. So I have to use definition number 3. So this will become 1 over 2 times 1 over 3 squared, which is equal to a half times 1 over 9. And the final answer is going to be 1 over 18. That will be the final answer. All right? Any
Yes,
question?
sir.
Any question? Do you have any question?
No, sir.
Right, if you don't have any question, then I'm going to stop here. Then I'll introduce factorization now under exponents. Okay.